a number of businesses, and me going to different places around the world, I've started to realise, especially coming back to England every now and then, where all the small companies has gone wrong, including myself. And what I realised over a course of time is there's one thing opening up a business, there's another thing what happens with the minds of people. And this is today what I'm going to show you, how to tap into people's subconscious minds so you can make money, build your brand, and do a lot more without you even realising it. This is what today's about. So, I'm a very interactive person. I'm a quiet person overall, but I'm very loud in general. In the sense of, I'm a quiet, natural person, but when it comes to doing business, I'm very passionate, I'm loud, I like to interact, and this is one of the ways I've learned. I learned this especially when I was in China. They taught me a certain way of how to build momentum within your learning, and a lot more gets retained in that way. So I'll be very interactive with you. I'm going to be asking you to say things. I want you to, we'll go through it, but I just want you to be interactive. It's really good for education in the mind. Okay? So we're going to go through it. There's certain things what I do when I'm learning. It makes me learn very quick, and I do it with people that I'm working with as well. So normally I would say, when you're retaining stuff, you say it first. That's what happens. You say it, you write it, you feel it. Everything's within the feeling. You say it, you write it, you feel it, and what happens after that? You cement it. This is the way you should always be retaining information, especially when you're working quickly. But there's four areas of learning for those who don't know. There's unconscious incompetence. This is when you don't know what you don't know. There's conscious incompetence. This is when you now know that you don't know. There's conscious competence. This is when you know it, but you have to remember. And then the final stage is unconscious competence. This is when you now know it without even giving it a second thought. My job today, what I would like to achieve with you guys, is get you to the place of conscious competence. The unconscious competence is down to you. So what does that mean for someone who's trying to understand what does this mean? First, you're probably 5 years old, you don't know anything about a car. Don't give it a second thought. Then you become 10 years old and you say, I know what a car is and I know I don't know how to drive it. So the first stage is you're unconsciously incompetent because you don't know it exists. The second stage is conscious incompetence. You now know it exists, but you can't do it. Like you see the car, you know you can't drive. The third stage is conscious competence. This is when you do it, you've got to remember the brake, handbrake, pull the brake up, put the clutch down, etc., and so on and so forth. You have to remember it. Then the final stage is unconscious competence. This is when now you're driving, you can eat a full-course meal. If you think about the way that you learn in every area, these are the stages that you go through. Okay? So I want to try and speed that process up today, that it doesn't take so much for you to retain it, because I want you to retain as much information as possible, and I want to help you get results. Okay? So, I want you to be interactive with me. I'm going to be on you on this. So the first stage is what? See, this is the thing, you're not feeling it. Come on, the first stage is what?
Say it.
I say it. Second stage?
Write it.
Third stage?
Feel it.
Fourth stage?
Cement it.
Excellent. This is what we do. We're going to cement this. I want you to ask questions and we're going to make it happen. Okay? So, before we start talking about this, we've got to understand how the mind works. And we've got to understand the mind of how your customers work and how your mind works. If you understand how your mind works, then you'll understand how their mind works. Because there's certain ways that your neural pathways and your dopamine and so on and so forth, how it all works together. Okay? So, you have a circle of success. And I want you to understand the success circle before we go into it in fine detail. Now, QB actually corrected me on this, so I'll thank you the other day, QB, for what you said to me. Thank you very much. What happens where most of us, where we start off, where we go wrong? The first area is our belief. When you come from certain backgrounds, certain areas, or certain mindsets, your belief is low. So your attitude towards certain things is very at a minimal stage. After that, once you go from belief, which we will come from some form of core belief, we go on to the next stage, which is potential. Now, if you don't know you have massive potential, what happens next? your action. Your action is very minimal. And if the action is very minimal, you get minimal what?
Results.
Minimal?
Results.
If you've got minimal results, what goes back to your beliefs again? Becomes minimal. And then you just go around in a spiral. You go downwards, 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 until you get to the place where you just don't believe anything can work in your life. If you've experienced it, or you know someone who's experienced it, hands up. This is the cycle. If you can conquer this cycle, which I'm going to show you partially how to do it today, then what happens? You've got high potential, which gives you high action, which gives you massive results. Your belief goes up, your attitude goes up, it puts you in what they call a proton state, and you start to meet other people in a proton mindset as well. And your business goes up also. So we're going to start going through this. Today is all about what they call pre-framing. Small companies do not get taught about pre-framing. The major companies do, and the major mindsets do, but small companies do not ever get taught about pre-framing. If you've ever heard about pre-framing before today, hands up please. Heard about pre-framing before?
Anthony Robbins, I think, uses pre-framing.
He uses it, yeah. Does he talk about it?
He does talk about it.
Yeah?
With his book, in his book he's gone about it. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, see? Readers are leaders. Okay? So only one person's heard about pre-framing.
Are you really saying it's like a business form of visualization?
No. What it is this. It's well, we're going to go through it today, you'll see it. But it's not, it's about, we do it in general, okay? So I give a prime example of a pre-framing, right? What does the media put forward? 5 guys standing on the corner in the middle of Dalston or Brixton, they've got hoodies on. What's the perception? Fuck, right? Yeah, if you say fuck, anyone agree to fuck? Or nice church choir boy. Right, so that's what happens. They're being pre-framed. So what, straight away, you have a certain belief about them. Then once your belief kicks in, you think about all the rest of them, the results. The result is they're a fuck and no one deals with them. So now what I'm saying to you and what I'm going to show you today is how to put your pre-framing across and make sure you focus on and build how you want people to think and feel about you. This is what we're working on today. It's so important. It's the biggest thing people miss. You can market your company all you want. You can brand your company all you want. But if your company can't go up against the majors, you're gonna die. A lot of us got great products, great talent, and it makes no difference because they don't know how to pre-frame. Okay? Right, so let's get started. The success cycle. So the first one is what?
Attitude.
Come on. The first one's what?
Attitude.
Second one?
Belief.
Third?
Potential.
That ends up in?
Action.
Which is?
Results.
This is what we're going to do. This is what it's about. Right. So, I've got a question for you guys today. Some of us heard on the radio show when we've done the radio talk. So, I don't want your hands, please. You're going to be smart. Right? So, question I've got for you. What business are you in? What type of business are you in? Who's got their business here? Anyone got a business here? Okay. The only thing is I know what you're going to say because I've told you about it already. Right, anyone else? Business? Or do you want to start a business? Which one? You want to start a business? Okay, excellent. What business would you like to start? Computer and IT. Excellent. And yours?
Finance mortgages.
Finance mortgages. Brilliant. Added that.
We'll start an animation company.
Sorry?
Animation company.
Animation company. You should be right up at the front. Listen, if I turn around, I took out a tenner right now and I said, who wants it? You ain't getting to me quick enough. You always got to be at the front when you want it. Yeah? You've got to shoot and score. Right. So, this is one thing I want everyone to start to realize, how the major organizations do this. Okay? The first type of business that you should be in, regardless what business you're in, the first type of business that you should be in, that gets you results, is first, what is it? The feel good now business. Because people do not compute a picture in their mind of something because they don't care for it. They have a feeling towards things. As QB said earlier on, emotional connection. So when you look at your business, ask yourself a fundamental question. What kind of business am I in, and how can I give them the feel-good now experience? If it's mortgage, IT, if it's an animation company, how do I make my people, my customers feel good now? And the question is always now, not later. And I'll tell you the difference between feel good and feel good now. You have so many of people in life who, what they do, they plan, and say, 5 years down the line, I'm going to be happy if I achieve this. Between now and 5 years, depression kicks in, sometimes suicide kicks in, and every kind of disease kicks in because they don't feel good now. When you don't feel good now, you're in an electron state, a negative state. Anyone know about electrons, protons, neutrons, quarks, atoms? You know about it? All right, I'm going to quickly explain it to you very quickly because it's important that you get the fundamentals of this. Okay? Magnets. You guys know a magnet, right? Yeah. If you get one side of a magnet, you get another side of the magnet, you put it together and it sticks, it comes together. That's either when two protons come together or two electrons come together. That means two positive people come together or two negative people come together. That's what the two magnets are doing. It's either in a proton state or it's an electron state. You turn the magnets around, they start to do what? They repel each other. It's because at that state, that's when a proton comes up against an electron, and they go, no, you're too much mix-up for me. I don't want nothing to do with you. So you have to make sure that if you're in an electron state, you would 100% pull in only electron people. So if you turn around and you say, right, I want to do business, but I'm feeling bad, you're going to put in a bad business. Every kind of person that comes to you, from business partners to customers, are all going to be negative. 100% negative. If you're in a proton state, you're going to pull in positive business partners, positive people. You'll pick up a positive relationship. Everything puts you in that state. If you're on Choice FM, you are not listening to Radio 1. It's frequencies. So it's important that we understand that we're in the feel-good now business. Feel-good people spend feel-good money. The next kind of business we're in, the results business. Let me hear you. Results business. If you're not getting results, you're not in business. If you're just there to high-five people, you are not in the results business. The next stage. Come on, guys. Happiness. These are the three things you want to ask yourself at all times when you're building your company and when you're dealing with customers. Sometimes, don't want to say it, my parents are from Jamaica, but I walk into Jamaican food shops and they are definitely not the feel-good type. They definitely don't make me feel like I'm getting a good result, and I'm definitely not happy.
Is that after eating the food?
Well, once again, I'll give you a prime example. Let me give you a prime example. Okay, how many of us has gone to a club and the security guy has treated us like crap? Put your hands up. How do you feel when you're in the club afterwards? You feel bad. You hate the club. You're not in the mood. How can he just drag me up like that? Who's he talking to? Does he think because he's got a big chest, he think... All these things go in your mind because he didn't give you the happiness that you deserve to have when you're going to their business, and he didn't make you feel good. This is how your brand and your company and your organization must be at all times. Okay, so here's a question for you. Who do people buy from and or trust? This is a very, before we get to the pre-framing, you have to understand the psychological mindset of human beings. Okay? So, I'm going to ask random people questions. I'm not going to ask you, Reese, because I've been teaching this for a while now. So I see you looking at me like, yeah, tell me that. Okay? Let's get some names. So your name, please? Joanna. Nice to meet you, Joanna. My name's Kevin. Excellent. By the way, do you see I just rubbed you just on your finger right here? We're going to start pre-framing you. I'm making you know this now. Okay? Right. So, ask your question. Who does people buy from, and who do they trust? Hands up, anyone? Who do they trust? Who do they trust?
People like them.
People
that like them.
Define it more.
People they like.
Okay, I'm going to give you number one.
They buy from people who are selling stuff. That's what they buy from.
do you know what? Everyone sells, but not everyone gets results from selling.
People they like.
People like that's partially there.
I would say
Connection.
a perfect example.
Connection, partially you're right. You're right.
Perfect example is Apple. When you go into Apple, it's a relationship. You have that sort of relationship.
Excellent.
So
Relationship.
products.
Well, it's just a product. Well, if you're toiletries, then you're not really worrying about who's the guy. You just want to go to the shop buy some toiletries.
Okay, I'm going to break it down for you, but I hear what you're saying, yeah?
The longevity of the company is history, reputation.
But how do we get to that point? That's always the thing. See, so that's the thing, right? When we normally build our companies, we think about stage 4 and 5. I always think about stage -1 up until stage 4.
Branding.
The branding, once again, is once it's solidified. Almost there.
What point are you talking from your initial thoughts?
What I'm saying is, who do people buy from and who do people trust? Just like what it's got there. Who do people buy from and who do people trust? I'm going to give you the first one. Number 1, people trust a celebrity type figure. Believe it or not, this is the biggest sales endorsement of what happens. If Kim Kardashian comes out to you and sells shoes, even if she doesn't know about shoes, people buy it because they trust her. A celebrity type figure. You research how much people buy from celebrities, you'll be surprised. Now, I want you guys to build yourself as celebrities, and I'll show you how and what happens. It sounds really strange, but that's who people buy from. Number 2, who people buy from? A professional. If you went to the doctor's tomorrow and you said to him, I've got a cold, I feel sick, whatever, and he said to you, take these tablets, how much time would you take the tablets? You would? You would? Exactly, because you go to professional. He's a specialist. Yeah? He's a specialist in his field. And that's what happens. You go to them, and whatever they say to you, you're going to go with it because you trust them, because you went there in the first place. And not only you trust them, but you're saying to yourself, I'll give you how much money it takes for me to feel better. And I've come to you to do so. The third type, friends. You trust your friends, right? This is how the major companies think. If you really think about it, when you build your business, do you ask yourself, yeah, are we a specialist in our field? And how do we put that point across? Do you ask yourself, or do you say to your teams, do you know, how can we be their friends? People listen to their friends. People listen to specialists. And people, believe it or not, as strange as it may sound, listen to celebrities. Now, when you're building your company, or if you have a company, do you do any of the three? Hands up if you do. You do the friends. Okay. Yeah.
You have to be a professional, in my opinion.
But do you tie to yourself as a specialist?
You've got to, because you're regulated.
No. But do you tie to yourself?
Do I tell myself, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you the reason why I say that, right? Okay. Put it like this. I study law as well. I study common law and I study trust law. And what I've looked at in life in general is titles count, names don't. Titles count, write that down please. Titles count, names don't. I'll give it to you, I'll put it down to you like this, right? You have a child, you go into a school, the child's got in trouble or the child is sick, and a man walks up to you and says, hi, my name is John. Do you care?
No.
Do you care? If the man comes up to you again, he says, hi, I am the headmaster. Is it relevant and do you care?
Yes.
Right. When you get pulled over by the police, or when you go into court, the first thing they ask you is your name Mr. Bennett? They always ask you that. Now, if you look at the Black's-Law Dictionary, look at the word Mr. You go back and you go back and you go back, it means slave. So when you say, I'm Mr. Bennett, they say, good, he's a slave. Yeah? Right. So now let me tell the slave what to do. This is why people have no rights. It's titles, it's not names. People care subconsciously about titles. The celebrity title. the friendship title, the professional title. Subconsciously, this is what people care about. And pre-framing is about tapping into the subconscious mind. If you're in a shoe shop and you walk up and you say, once again, hi, my name is John. And then someone else next door says, hi, I am a shoe specialist. Who would that customer make a decision to go to? Shoe specialist. Right. Start titling yourself accordingly. Celebrity, professional, friendship. I'm going to show you how Donald Trump and people like Donald Trump plays the whole pre-framing game so we can break it down, okay? Right. The goal at all times when you're pre-framing, working on your pre-framing, and I'm not going to talk about business today because we need to look at the before business. If you look at the business, you've lost the rest of it. The first thing that celebrities do and businesses do before they start to talk about business in that sense is, how do we become a legend and how can we create trust? Small businesses don't think about this. Okay, so let's go through it. This is what Donald Trump would do. Okay? So, they said, right, what is our desired perception? Personal perception. How do we now, what do we want people to think about us, our core values? What do we want them to say? So I'll give you a prime example. The first stages of it sounds arrogant. It actually sounds arrogant. Because when I walk up to people and I say, hi, how you doing? My name's Kevin Bennett, and I'm the best at what I do. And he's going to think, who does he think he is? Because straight away, I need to get the chain going. It needs to come from somewhere. So I say to the whole team, this is what we say. We put it out there. We are the best at what we do. We are whatever it may be. This is our core values. And then what happens, he filters it down the line. But if you leave it to someone, they will come with their own conclusion about you. Their own conclusion about you could be absolutely anything, and it will not, most of the time, represent the brand. How do we know that? Well, has anyone played Chinese Whispers as a child? Hands up if you played Chinese Whispers as a child. How many times in Chinese Whispers does the truth come back around again? No matter how nice the truth is. It never comes back around. There's something about people that like to add things to feel important. So, okay, if I turn around and I said, guess what? I made £1,000 in my last deal. By the time he gets to the back, he made 2 million, 1.8, whatever it may be, because people want to add stuff. It's just something what people do, and they misconstrue things as well. So even a children's program I started watching, I watch children's programs sometimes. A children's program I started watching, and it actually done it in fine detail. Anyone seen a children's program called Copycats before? Comes in about 3:30. You seen the QB, yeah? Don't say with shame. Oh yeah, you got a baby. That's your excuse. Yeah? Okay. I'll tell you what Copycat does. Okay, very quickly. They've got 3 kind of shields blocking off each other. There's 4 people in line. Normally 2 children, 2 parents. Okay? Right. So child number 1, funny enough, child number 1 will draw this man here. Okay? With a crown on his head. Or, oops, maybe it's his hair. Okay? Right. Then it closes, the next person looks at it, and then they draw what they think it is. Normally, by the time it gets right back to the other side, the 4th one down the line, it's a woman dancing in the club. That's how the mind works. So we cannot allow people to assume what our brand, our company, and our desired perception is about. We tell people, no matter how arrogant it sounds, that's what we do. We tell people what it is. So Donald Trump and the team and all the big professionals, this is what they do. They say, right, what is our desired perception? Number 2, the perception distribution. Now they know I'm going to distribute this around the world, how we want people to think about us, what they're going to say about us, everything in fine detail. Which is going to be contributing towards the legend. But we ain't got straight to the legend yet. The next area, media. If you follow this to a T, your business will go up by at least 60%. Trust me when I say this to you. So how did the media do it? Do interviews. Anyone listen to the radio shows that we done? Me and QB?
Yeah.
You listen to it? How many? Hands up, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Yeah, and Danny was there. 8. Did you listen? 9. No, you don't count. So 8. Okay. 9. Excellent. 10. Right. Straight away, what's the percentage of the room? Because we used our pre-framing to get you here today.
Chinese whispers.
There you go. So, oh, you brought your... Okay. Oh, you told him about. Okay, so what did you hear?
He was telling me about Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
You used Napoleon Hill.
Right.
So that,
Brand alignment. Yeah? So brand alignment. I use Napoleon Hill. That's the best way you can describe a story, because we think in pictures. So what he done is, he gave him a relationship of understanding so he can come down, being pre-framed. Well, it's a good pre-frame, because you know that's not good. This is what pre-framing is about. We sat down, myself, Sonia, Bobby, QB, and we said, what do we want people to think? How are we going to do it? What are we going to put as a legend? Media, do interviews. That was the first stage that we done. We only done one stage, bear in mind. Okay? If we done all the rest, the room would have been another level. Okay?
In this context, what does legend mean?
Whatever the legend is, what do you want the legend to be?
What do you mean?
So, for example, let's say now I wanted people to believe or to realize I am the greatest at pre-framing in the world. Okay? So we do a number of different areas in order for the legend to manifest. So I'll give you a prime example. Let's do Donald Trump. Okay? What do we know about Donald Trump? Hands up. He's rich. That's one. Next one.
He's into real estate.
Yeah, he's into real estate. Tycoon.
Does the apprentice.
Does the apprentice, you're fired.
He's wealthy, not rich. Wealthy.
Is wealthy. Yeah, excellent. Wealthy. Yeah, yeah. Riches for tomorrow. Wealthy generations. Entrepreneur. Influential. You've been pre-framed. This is the legend that Donald Trump wants you to think. That's the legend. Whatever you're saying right now, that's their legend. That's what they want you to think from the desired personal perception. Before he even became big, that's what they knew they wanted you to think. They didn't do it as they went along. Okay? So, what we do in the case is, you have interviews, if we're doing articles, all these things are free nowadays, guys. Before you even open a business, all these things should be in place. TV show. So he done The Apprentice, but you can also do that as well. I'm going to actually show you another one in a second that'll be also ideal for you. Okay? Then they moved on to what he is in his field. So Donald Trump is a specialist in, who said, real estate. There you go. So if you're going to go to real estate, if you could choose someone in the world, and it's in the top 5 they're going to choose, who would choose Donald Trump for real estate? Hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So 8 people in this room, that if they was into real estate, they'll go to Donald Trump. Now, what that means is you're willing to spend and you're willing to buy into whatever he's going to give to you. It's part of the pre-framing. He's made some colossal mistakes in business, but they'll give that to you in bite sizes because they want you to be inspired that everyone can do it. So, once they've got all these places in the area, do you believe the trust goes up? Yeah. Yes or no?
Yes.
Because you've been pre-framed. This is why when you watch X Factor and The Voice and all of that, they give you a story. Because the story makes you build up trust, see them as a friend, and then you hope to God that they can sing because you want to see them as a professional in the field. This is what they do to you daily. If someone just came up and they said, right, sing, and everyone just sat there and watched that on TV, they'd be like, so? It's what happens beforehand that taps into your subconscious mind. It's the pre-framing. Just like your business. If you open up your business tomorrow and you just said to them, buy from me. It's the same thing that how you're going to see David Cameron. It's the same thing you're going to see someone that there's no story behind it. This is so important. If you miss this, you've missed the boat. Okay, so we've got number 1, number 2, which is what is your profession? That's what you want to ask yourself. Write down, what is your profession? This is so important. The days of giving yourself a title of someone, give me something. Solicitor. Okay? If you give yourself a solicitor, which is a title in a sense, how does that person straight away know that you are the ultimate solicitor? You define it, you refine it, and you make it personal to them. Because normally, if you say you're a solicitor, they say, what type are you? Are you a property? Are you a criminal? Are you, what kind of solicitor or whatever you represent within that sector? Okay? So straight away it brings an emotional connection when you state what one you are, and also how good you are. If you don't believe you're good at it, then don't be a part of it. If you believe you're good at it, you let them know. You pre-frame them. Okay? So if you're a shoe specialist, that's what, if you're into shoes, be a shoe specialist. Not just a person who sells shoes. Because if you just sell shoes just like ASOS, you ain't selling no shoes. Be a relationship specialist. If that's what you think, you help people in relationships or whatever it may be, make sure you're a specialist in relationships. Hair specialist. If you're into, anyone does hair products. Yeah, you do hair, right? Okay. So, you're a hairdresser, that's how you normally title yourself. What do you title yourself as?
Professional hairstylist.
Professional hairstylist. Excellent. So now what you want to do is now find, you've worked with celebrities or top models? Yeah? You worked with top models, I remember, right? Okay. Then say it. Say it. Say, I work with the stars. I'm a specialist who work with the best models. Straight away people think, hold on a second, not only I want to work with you, but I give you how much money you want. Because if it's just about being a hairdresser, how many hairdressers do you have going throughout the roads, throughout London, England, throughout the world? There's a hairdresser on every single corner. But only certain hairdressers that everyone goes to, because they're the specialists. They bring that friendship. Change your title. No one cares about names. So, lifestyle specialist, and it goes on. Right. So you got a friend. That's the professional side. Let's look at the friendship side. Okay? Friends are passionate. Yes or no? Say yes.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you to say no, so I'm going to tell you to say yes. Okay? Friends are passionate. This is how you deal with your friends, and this is how you deal with your customers. If you want your customers as friends. Friendly and loving. It's called social responsibility. That's how I call it anyway. If you want people to be your friend, you don't walk up to someone and go, excuse me, hi, I don't know you, but can you be my friend? No, you don't do that. People run from you, think you're crazy. So how do you make people be your friend? Social responsibility. Go out there, you better plant trees. You go to old people's homes, and you help them. You help children. You go around and you help these things, but with just one attachment to it. You film it, you record it, and you put it on YouTube and anywhere else you can. Because when people research you, they go, oh, he's so loving. Do you remember X Factor? Think about this. Major companies, when you look at their profiles, they've got an area called social responsibility. Is that right, QB? Where's the small companies' social responsibilities? The small companies do not have social responsibility. And if they do, they don't put it forward. You have to work on your social responsibility. Sit down with your teams and say to them, who can we help? How fast can we help them? And can we record everything that we do? So if you kind of realize there's something going on there called filming, people, social responsibility. This is pre-framing. What I'm doing to you right now is actually pre-framing for another market. Next one, guys. Let me hear you.
Enthusiastic.
All friends are enthusiastic. I'm enthusiastic about my friends, and so should you. Listen to people. Be a great listener. When you listen to people, they like you more. But it's good exercise anyway, because you start to understand how the human mind thinks and how to help people. Regardless what business you're in, if you're enthusiastic about people, they become enthusiastic about you. If you just talk down and at people, they shut down on you and they have no interest in you once you're gone. Next one.
Engaging.
Listen to people. Connect with them. Answer to them. Just bear in mind for a second here, I haven't once spoken about business yet. This is all before business. Next one.
Empowering.
Educate your people. If you're a shoe specialist, educate them about their shoes. Empower them. Because I was into the fashion sector before, I empowered and I helped women when it came to shoes. I've got a belief, some women will say I disagree. I've got a belief, the higher the heels, the sexier she feels. So straight away, what I do, I say to women, these heels will make you feel so sexy. And if you're sexy, you radiate seductiveness. It's part of one of my core values. Straight away she thinks, because she wants results. Remember, we're in the results business. We're in the feel-good now business. We're in the happiness business. So when I'm talking to her, there's three things in my mind. Before I go for results, I want to make her feel happy. I want her to feel like a friend is helping her. I want her to feel empowered. And I want her to walk away with results. Because if she walks away with results, so would I. Go the extra mile. Let me hear you guys.
Go the extra mile.
Someone tell me what I mean by that, please.
Do more than you
Do more than you're asked to do. If someone say, can you do 1, 2, 3, you go up to 7. Call them up 2 weeks later and say, oh, by the way, I've done that for you as well. They're like, whoo! Brings the trust, brings the friendship, brings the results. These things are so important before you even sell a product. Bond with your market. QB Springer earlier on spoke about the marketing side, so I won't dig too deep into that. But this is very important because if you tap into a market and they don't want to buy from you, they're not going to buy from you. The pre-framing beforehand. Next one, guys, let me hear you. What do I mean by that? Everyone's got an interest. If you listen, you'll hear everyone's got an interest and everyone's got a common interest. We all have a common interest.
Could it be like, could I ask about what team you support and things like that?
Exactly. What team you support. Tell me about your children. Oh, have you listened to people that's passionate about their children? Woo! Oh my gosh, and she's so big right now, and she does this, and she does that, and she does that, and she walks around in a circle, and she does this, and one day she's done this. There's a common interest. Okay? Find the common interest of your clients, customers, and potential business partners. So, what have we got? Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. This is the business you're in. I don't care what business you're in, this is the true business you're in. If you're not in this business, you're in no business. Because it only lasts no more than 4 years if you're not in that business. This is why most startup companies crash and burn within the first 0 to 4 years. This is the reason why. You have a business, someone comes in for the first time, they go, oh, it's cute, it's nice, okay, bye. You never see them again. You think, what did I do wrong? There was no relationship. How do we know this? Okay, I meet a woman tomorrow, we go out on the first day, and I do one thing wrong, does she ever come back again? No. Okay, I meet a woman tomorrow, we're in a relationship for 1 year, we have an argument, does she come back again? Yes. There's a relationship. It's the same thing. Human beings are the same. Okay, so how do you build this relationship? A story. Let's think about this now. Your brain works in pictures. If I said to you, can you picture and A and B? Can you picture it? If you're going to spell it, you can. It doesn't exist. If, can anyone picture it? If? It doesn't exist. Our brains work in pictures. This is why your story is always relevant. Always give people a story. X Factor does it. Donald Trump does it. Simon Cowell does it. Celebrities do it. Jordan does it. Peter does it every week. Because they know that's what works. If your company has a story, you have nothing. People do not connect with you. Your brain works in pictures. And I can go even deeper. Your brain doesn't look into the future. Did anyone know that? You think you look into the future when you use your brain. It doesn't work that way. What your brain actually does, it looks into the past and makes a decision for the future. So if a woman's had a bad relationship in the past, she goes, I don't like men like that. You condition your mind to have successful relationships of business, friends, and people consistently throughout the past. So when you make a decision for the future, you're programmed and ready to go. Give the customers the same thing. The brain works the same way for everyone. Okay, so I'll tell you about core values. Write down core values, please. Write down what?
Core values.
Build your core values. Now, we have subconscious core values. My mum and dad told me don't speak to strangers, and I shrugged my shoulders, and then a stranger came along one day, and I remember, do not talk to strangers. Okay, subconscious core value. Write down your core values. That's going to help you. How's it going to help you? 1, you know who you're going to do business with. 2, you know who you want to do business with. 3, you know who you want to employ. 4, you know who you want to connect with in general, relationship-wise. Core values are so important. I'm going to tell you my core values, if I put it here. 1, feel good now. That's one of my core values. Without feeling good now, everything else becomes irrelevant because I'm not in the right mental state. Okay? I have a number of different things that I do to feel good now. I have a toolbox, but that's a whole nother workshop. Okay? Number 2, I help, build, and empower. I like to think that's what I'm doing today. I'm meeting my core value. It keeps me on track. I look at my core values daily. Am I helping? Am I building? Am I empowering? 3, deliver quality. Only you guys can be the judge of this, but I will bloody give you my best. 4, create happy memories. Because my brain goes backwards, I need good feelings for the future. 5, be teachable and embrace the moment. I was so sure about something the other day until QB Springer corrected me. And I readjusted it, and I've come back again. No matter what happens, even in the middle of an argument, I'm still teachable. 6, I exude fun, passion, and excellence. 7, build family and community relationships with our staff and customers. You can write these down, feel free to take them, but it'd be also good to build your own that is true to you. 8, vulnerability is sexy. People normally go, what does that mean? Once again, remember X Factor? Oh, when I was younger, my daddy didn't love me and my mommy didn't whatever. And you go, oh, I really want to be a part of you. We've all had things happen in our lives, including myself, and sometimes I share them. And someone goes, I like that because you're a human being. And in return, they share with me as well. Vulnerability is sexy. People bond with you when you're vulnerable at times. But don't be a burden. That's another side of it. Don't be a burden. Don't phone up and go, I've got another sad story to tell you. Okay? Don't do that because you put them in an electron state. People don't like to be put in an electron state. Only electron people. Okay? That's why they say music that's company. Yeah? The 3 S's, what I said to you about before. This is my 3 S's. Sexy is what you feel. Seductive is what you radiate. And sophistication is how I do things. So, if I meet a woman or in a relationship, Or how I do my business, I want it to be sexy. I want to have a nice seductiveness to it, but I want it to be sophisticated. Because you can have sexy and tarty. So you analyze everything accordingly. This is one of the most powerful statements I tell myself every day, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. When your attitude's right, the facts don't count. This has helped me throughout my life. When I was 11 years old, I had a teacher named Miss Hall, and she said to me, "You're never going to make it. You're going to be in prison by the time you're 18 years old." And I said to her, "You don't know me." And she said, "I am telling you for a fact you're going to be in prison by your 18 years old because I don't like your attitude." So straight away, she tried to subconsciously put in my mind that I'm a failure. So I turned around and I said to her, "I'm going to show you." By the time I was 16 years old, I was more successful than her, I made more money than her, and I turned up to the school in my brand new car. She would have been driving at the time, just to show her. So her fact was, "You're never going to make it." But that's your fact. My fact is, I'm going to show you, because I'm greater than what you can even begin to imagine. When your attitude's right, no one's fact out there counts. Do not make no one tell you you can't make it. It's very important that you have this. And the reason why, especially within your core values, because when you put a team on board, if you've got this drive and no one can tell you nothing, and your right-hand man or your right-hand woman turns around and she doesn't have that same faith, she's going to seep into you. You sure it's going to work? No, trust me. Phone you up 2 in the morning. "I don't know about this." They're going to kill your company. Make sure that when you do your core values, you assess people as well according to your core values. Or do not do business with them. Under no circumstances. This is how most small businesses fail. Believe it or not. Most small businesses fail because they pull in people, because people are named people.
Say that again.
Which part?
Let's repeat that last statement.
Don't bring in people just because they're people. Okay, I can't say exactly, but I'll give it to you again, yeah? Okay. If you pull in someone because you just want people to join you, what's going to happen is their core values are not different to you, so they may have a different belief structure. Their belief structure may be, "I don't think that we can make a billion pounds in 10 years. Every day they're going to put into you, "Nah, I don't think it's going to happen. No, I don't think it's going to work." You go, no, trust me. No, trust me. But the question I'll pose to you is, if I picked you up as sane as you are and put you in a madhouse, how long would you remain sane? And if you're extremely positive and you're around someone who draws from you every day, how long do you remain positive?
I've had that. So when I thought that you just get people, you just have people because they're enthusiastic, so you just have that. And I started a company like that, and it didn't work.
Such a drive, right? That's happened to me as well, so I understand. And this is how people get killed. This is how people commit suicide. This is not a joke. This is serious. And this is what the major organizations do. The small companies don't. How do we know this? Because when I go into a Jamaican food shop, a lot of the times, I know the owner's a really nice guy, but when the woman goes, "Take your food," there's something wrong with the brand of the company. The attitude is not right. And then you say to the boss, "Do you know what, what's wrong with your staff?" And they go, "No, man, she's a nice girl. It's just bad deal." No! It's bad business. So no matter how much your attitude's right, if you don't pull in the right people for your company and your team, your business dies. You walk down your high road, no matter where you come from in the world, and you're going to see corpses of companies because these things are not in line. Okay, so the goal is legacy. Okay? My goal, when I die, is I build financial and family communities. That's what my legacy is. Just like Donald Trump's one, you'd have told me Donald Trump's legacy. And then when you look on his company profile, it's the same thing. It's not an accident. Make sure you know when you're driving down the road where you're going or you're driving in circles. If you come out your house and you end up in Birmingham and you're meant to go Brixton, there's something wrong. Okay? Before you leave out your house, know where you're going. And before you start a company or a brand as a self, know what your legacy is. It's the same thing. If you don't do this, you're going to run out of petrol. Self-petrol, business petrol, mind petrol, spiritual petrol. We only have a certain amount of fuel. I made leaders and new world free thinkers. I'm teaching you a whole new philosophy here. This is what my legacy is. I'm living my legacy every day. And by you just turning up, you're helping me, so I'm successful. If you give me money or no money, I am successful. Because this is what my legacy is. This is what I want it to be. So when you're passionate, remember, exude from passion excellence, you can only do this when you care about what you do. If you do everything just for the sake of money, you're going to end up losing some serious parts of your spirituality. And you're going to be very unhappy. Check out the celebrities. I saved millions of people's lives. About a few, going back a few months now, and even someone kind of recently, I stopped them from committing suicide. They were so depressed. I sat down and I spoke to them, and we analysed what was going on in their life. And I like to pride myself that I've studied enough within those sectors that I helped her and I changed her life. She never came out of her house. She stayed under the sheets every single day. And anyone who knows about what depression does, the first signs of depression is when someone starts to stay in. Then when they start to pull the sheets over their head, that's where death is near. I adjusted that and I changed it. Daily, I'm saving people's lives. Sometimes I don't even know I'm doing it, and sometimes I do. And this is what social responsibility, as I said, is about also. So if you feel uncomfortable about doing things like this, someone gets inspired. And someone says, I like that. I can be more than what I am. But I can give you my life story. And it starts off in Brixton, Stockport Park Estate, and not a great little stuff, great things happen. But we have no time for that now. Okay. So, the professionals and interest, okay? So, in my area, this is what I do. And this is what I study. All these areas I study in order for me to feel like I'm qualified to talk to everyone. The other thing that I don't tell people that much, that I should tell people a lot more, I probably failed more than everyone in here. Because I try things daily and a lot of things fail daily. So not only I can tell you how to make it, if someone can only tell you what to do and what not to do, then they can give you a good balance of decisions. If someone says, I've had no failures, do not go to them, but there's something wrong. If you're not shooting, you're not scoring. And if you shoot, you know you're going to miss sometimes. Okay? These are all the areas that I'm studying. If I told you some of the things I've studied, your head will spin. I've sat down with some spiritual people and they've taught me some stuff that will make you go, woo, this ain't right. Some stuff I take, some stuff I leave. Some things I share, some things I will never share in public. But I'm qualified enough to make sure that when someone's coming, I can guide them and go, no, do not go over there. Stay here, stay here, stay here. Okay? I like to pride myself on, where is he, Reese? Reese, stand up for me a second. Reese is 21 years old. I'm telling you what you've just accomplished recently, being around the team and stuff. Oh, that way, by the way.
Just finished my second year at uni, business management, T1 and first, was at top grade.
This is when you can go, woo, don't go there, woo, stay on this line. There's times when Reese will call me up and I go, brother, bad idea. Was all right? Yeah? Okay, by the way, I've just been pre-framing you for that as well. I'm telling you all the pre-frames as we go along. Yeah? Okay. So what do we know about Kevin Bennett? He gets results, he studies a lot. Yeah? You really know that leaders are readers, and he goes on and on and on and on. I'm pre-framing you. Other people don't tell you this. Yeah? Because I want you to learn what people's doing, including me. And now some people say, yeah, but by you telling me that you're pre-framing, you're actually pre-framing me. It's true. Okay? So, control the market via your profession and all the areas and so on and so forth as well. Okay, so let's go through this. People need authority. People need to be told what to do, believe it or not. Now, if you say to them in hindsight, like, let me tell you what to do, you'd be like, don't tell me what to do. But when there's a financial crash, people say, what do I do next? When people go through health problems, they say, how should I do an extra sit-up? Or what tablets should I take? People need authority. Make sure that your team understands this and that you are this person. Okay? Give yourself a title before a name, as we spoke about before. People need to see proof via numbers. Does that make sense? Social proof and so on and so forth. Okay? That's why media is really good. Present the facts by using logic, not the software. What I mean by that is, use government statistics. They've spent millions and trillions in getting all these statistics over time. Grab the logic of that. So now I can tell you that 55% of businesses crash and burn in the first year. Small startups. How do I know that? I got that via government. Government statistics and so on and so forth. Okay? So always present facts. If you don't, people just class it as an assumption, you're just assuming, you're swinging in the air. So, for example, property business, right? Okay? State to people. What part of property is it then? Mortgages, okay? Right, so why should someone come to your business?
Because we're a specialist.
Right, so that's number one, you're a specialist. Excellent. And you're going to define how you're a specialist. Then you tell them, give them some government statistics. The number of, you got anything there that's government statistic-wise?
No.
Right, remember these things. Because when you turn around and say to them, for example, 95% of mortgage companies, for example, are not accepting people of this, and this, and this. And they go, oh my gosh, so can you help me, please? You go, of course we can, we're your good friend. But you have to present facts to them. Okay? Use rarity to create demand, like musical chairs. Most of my business and money that I've made throughout time, that's because I use rarity. Now, what do we mean by that? Anyone play musical chairs when I was younger? Yeah. Oh, gosh, what kind of childhood some of you lot had? Hands up if you played musical chairs when you was younger. Still play it now. Live musical chairs especially. Yeah? Now, what does that mean, musical chairs? They use rarity to create demand. Think about it, okay? 15 people are standing up. There's a circle of 10 chairs. They say, after the music, everyone sits down. Everyone's running around. Time to sit down, 5 people's out. What does that mean in business? That means when you build your company, you make sure that you only deal with certain kind of people and some people don't qualify. When people don't qualify, straight away the demand goes up. If you turn around and say to everyone qualifies, they say, I'll get back to you next week then. Make sure that your company has rarity to it, that when people do join, they get all the amazing things. But not everyone can join. You have to qualify. Now there's some let's say private schools, right? Can anyone join a lot of private schools? No. So then what happens to all the people that want to join? Everyone starts to queue up and everyone saying, I want to join, let me tell you how great my child is. And I'll even pay you more to join. That's another thing that happens. When rarity is involved, people want to pay more. This is so important for your companies. Can anyone meet up and do business with Donald Trump? No. Think about this. Do not make your brand go out to everyone and make everyone qualify for your company, your brand, and yourself. I don't want to sound however you sound, but if a woman sleeps with everyone, does anyone want her? No. Think about this even as a brand, as a self-brand. Okay. Be their best friend. But that's the business you're in. You're in the friendship business. No matter what business you're in the friendship business. I can't go past this part enough. But if you miss this, you've missed the boat. Qualify people to join different packages. QB does that. You just spoke about that earlier, right? I know you just stepped in the room and said you're going to nod for no reason. You have, what's the price of your clients and what do they range from?
£2.5 grand, £5 grand a month to check out.
Okay, so someone that buys a book, do they qualify to be a £5 grand customer? No. If I sat down right now and I said, right, this is our gold package. Here's the chairs for the gold package. This is the silver package. Chairs for the silver package. And over there is the bronze package. And on the gold package, we had bottles of champagne and we had servants coming along and everything was happening great. And over there, you just had a glass of water and a high five. Okay? Would you inspire via this way to get to there? Or would you be happy just staying over there where everyone's masterminding, talking about the great business deals for tomorrow? Think about this. This is why people learn how to play golf. If you're around major league thinkers, if you don't have to play golf, you've missed 90% of the business conversations. Think. What I'm saying to you is diamond. It's not gold, it's diamond. The greatness is in the behavior, in the attitudes, right, the facts don't count. It's in the mindset and the movement. Go out and find some more skills. Skills that the greats do. So if you're so happy to be playing golf one day, and then you just come up to the next tycoon over there and you go, oh, that was a good swing. Oh, yeah, what do you do? What do you do? Because you're not going to do it on the street. Okay, so be a celebrity, the next area, which was number 1. Connect with people. Be fun and vibrant. Empower people. That's what your celebrity status should be doing. Do not be an arse. Yeah, and do not be like Jordan or any of them, because people hate you after a while. If you want to be long term. Be giving. QB Springer doesn't ever does anything for free in that kind of sense because of her brand. What she came and she gave today. I rarely do talks, rarely in general, but I came and I gave today because it's part of our brand ethos in a sense to help our community. If you're the top CEOs right now, you're all paying. Okay? Be interactive. Make sure you build trust. If you trust people, they'll trust you. Just take some time out to trust. I'm not saying you give someone the whole world, but trust them enough for them to feel responsible in trusting you in return. Okay. Use entertainment to educate people. This is so important when I say this. I'm not saying act a fool. I'm not saying you talk to someone like that. Sometimes they might need it. But people, okay, I'll put it to you like this, right? If you can, within 3 seconds, I want someone to tell me, let me use someone. Someone I haven't picked on yet. Okay, yourself, sir. So what's your name? Desmond. Okay, right. Desmond, within 3 seconds, right? Tell me things that you learned in school. 1, 2, 3. What do you like watching on TV? What's your favorite?
Anything English.
Okay, you watch football and stuff, right? Yeah, football. Okay. Tell me 3 football players. 1, 2, 3. Entertainment. Entertainment means education. If you can educate someone and entertain them at the same time, they retain it a lot more. I'd start about education that you've done for how many years in school? How easy do you remember? It's kind of hard, right? This is what happens. Entertainment keeps people more than education. This is so important. Yeah? So when you're giving information to people, make sure your brand entertains people. Make sure your website entertains people. Make sure when you engage and talk to people, you entertain people. The average person gets 3,000 messages in one day. So if you come along and you go, hi, my name is Kevin, you're going to shut down because you've been entertained by something else beforehand. So before you buy or make any product, do your research. Tap into the minds of your customers, show clients. Yeah, that's when you're getting more into the business stage. I made one colossal mistake in business, and I got my ass kicked for it. I bought products, and then I tried to sell it. I became a hustler. Make sure when you buy, you've already made money. Do not buy to sell. Buy when it's ready being sold. This is what the rich does. That's what they do. You think they just buy stuff and it sits there? I done that. Never ever do that. You become a hustler. Hustlers get tired. 2. Look at their goals and ambitions. Tap into them. Find out what they like. Look at their goals and ambitions. Yes. You pre-frame them, you set the market. Do not ever, 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 ever assume your market. If you assume, you lose. Look at their wants, needs, motivations, and so on and so forth. Someone in need is someone in need. Just made that up. Sounded good in my mind. Okay? Look at their hopes, dreams, and aspirations. We all are dreamers. Even for those who lie on the sofa all day, they're dreaming about lying on the sofa all day. Tap into it. Find out what's going on. Look at their fears, doubts, and worries. People go to the doctors not because they're in a good mood, because they're in a fear, doubt, or worry. I ask myself a question every day: how can I solve people's problems? Let's see. Ask yourself, how can you solve people's problems? You want to open the windows, doors, so it's too hot in there. Yeah? Look at all the above to come to the conclusion at below. If you can work out the above, and then you've got the conclusion, you've got sales. You've got a great brand, and you've got a great legend. Any questions at this point before we move on? Sorry? I'm giving, not that. We'll work it out though. Right, so let's go on to it now. This one question I want everyone to ask themselves, okay? What product can we sell that has more money than value? Sorry, more value than money. I apologize. Noted. Woo, surround sound. This is good. I like all of them. They're questions for you, by the way. It's not a smart question. It's just, they're questions for you, for your company. This is what you ask your mastermind group.
Just their credibility.
These are the things. Ask yourself these questions. These are the questions that majors are asking themselves. These are the questions. When you're sitting down in America, China, India, Brazil, and the major conglomerates are sitting down, these are the questions they ask themselves. My goal today is to make you change your way of thinking. This is what I came up with, okay? Happiness, growth, naming lights, and acknowledgement. Everyone loves their naming lights. Something strange about us. We all want to be acknowledged. Even the girl at the back of the class. She wants to be known for probably being at the back of the class. This is what human beings love. This is why testimonies and stuff like that are always good. Okay, so pre-framing. This is where you control the way that the market thinks and feels about you before they've ever had the chance to buy anything from you. Does it make sense to you guys now? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Does it make sense to you guys? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Like the man at the back. Right. So, the number one is what? What do you have to do? 2. Make sure you're very stylish, because this is what I do. I don't know if you think I'm stylish today, but I think I'm stylish. This is my pre-framing. And I'm going to tell you what to think. And even when you say, I can't believe you said that, you're still going to think it, because I told you. Your brain has to filter that in now. And if you want to fight with it, you're still thinking. This is why they say, where your focus goes, your energy flows. Think about that. Write that down. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. If you think negative, negative has to manifest. You think I'm stylish or not, you still have to think the word stylish and my name in the same sentence. Pre-framing.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Where your focus goes, your energy flows. So if you think about negativity, your energy has to follow it. If you're driving down the road and you turn right, you're not focused on left. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. So, this is what I want you to think about me. I'm a people's person. I'm pre-framing you right now. Okay? I'm loving and caring. Oh, sorry, let me go back to my loving and caring.
Hi, I'm Joanna. Nice to meet you.
Okay? I'm a genius. And I am. I am a genius. I study 20 hours a day on so many different subjects. I've got keyboard prints in the side of my face if I fall asleep on my keyboard. I study, study, study. And there's a saying, and I'm not one, by the way, before I state this. I study like a mason. What? And anyone who knows about masons, they study, study, study. Yeah? Because they have one belief. Readers are always leaders. Read, read, read. Okay? I'm a problem solver. As QB said earlier on in a talk, what did you say, Q? Remember about me problem solving?
That having a business study that comes to you and you always give a solution to the problem.
Right. Because I make sure that I work on the other areas. I'm very exclusive and busy. Even when I'm not busy, I'm busy. Hey, can I have 5 minutes? No, you can have one, I'm busy. Remember musical chairs? You build your demand. So when I turn up, you better be on time. But if you miss me again, 1 year later, that's when you've got me. Okay? I have a very unorthodox way of thinking. I think differently, and I know I do. I'm funny, and I'm fun when I'm in the mood to be.
Are you serious?
Sorry?
Are you serious?
I'm serious now. And I have a very high quality control. From the clothes I wear to the people I associate myself around with to how I do my business. I am a bloody big deal. I'm a big deal. Once again, you remember I said to you beforehand, when I tell you about the pre-framing, it's going to sound arrogant. But if you want the parcel and the Chinese whispers to start it in the right sentence. Okay, so we're going to talk about you guys pre-framing now, yeah? And the areas to get to the pre-framing. Right, so you start off with, this is what you guys need to do. So make sure you've got a fresh piece of paper, because this is what you guys need to do. Story and your core values. Before you start anything, make sure that your team and your personal story and core values are in place. If you miss this, you miss the boat. Remember the business that you're in. You're in the feel-good now business. You're in the results business. You're in the happiness business. Regardless if you're a DJ, if you're an owner, if you do property, all these things, because people do not buy if they don't feel good about the situation, regardless what it is. People never ever buy. Work on your desired personal perception, how you want people to perceive you. Okay, so 1, remember, you have to be a celebrity type figure. Go out there, build your social responsibility. Make people see you in a particular light. People buy from celebrities. 2, connect it to the media. However your media is going to be, as I said, I'll show you in a bit, a very short part. But with another workshop, I can show you how to do it in stages and how to tap into people's minds within doing that. Okay? So that area, number 1, leads to legend. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes or yes?
Yes.
2, be a professional. Or a specialist, should I say. I should have changed it to specialist. Okay? Do people trust a specialist in their field?
Yes.
I don't think you'd have believed what you're saying.
Yes.
After 3. Do you guys believe that people trust a specialist in their field?
Yes.
So why you guys are not specialists? That creates customer satisfaction and guarantees. People talk about it like word of mouth, and it leads to where? Come on, guys. Leads to where? So you have 2 areas now that is going to make your company, your brand, go up in sales, results, and satisfaction. Number 3, be a what? By doing? Because if you really think about it, you can't walk up to someone, as I said, and I said to you before, hey, my friend, can I be your friend, please? That's not good. Yeah, they'll run from you. Okay? So you do it by a certain avenue, social responsibility. Go into old people's homes, help them. Help winter time, you go to homeless shelters. Make sure you film everything. So when you put it on YouTube and people research you and Google you, and the articles are there and all these things and so forth, they already know I like this person. Just like the X Factor effect. Okay, so how are you going to do the media thing? I'm going to show you very quickly. We're going to be quick on this. Who wants to know how to touch and tap into the media? Hands up. This is how you do it. Articles, sponsors, events, promotions, often online, voucher and discount sites if you're a website or so, directories, JVs, joint ventures. I've got one called the Feel Good Now Membership Club. That everyone that joins up, there's a whole Feel Good Now thing going on. Okay? Do contests, sweepstakes, and so on and so forth, competitions. Blogs, affiliates. Anyone knows what an affiliate is? Someone who represents your brand on your behalf, and they get a commission or something like that based upon it. Brand, product, whatever it may be. Okay? PPC, PV, CPV. I know you know about all this, right, Stephen? Ish? Come on, give me that. Give me. What's PPC? There you go. Pay-per-click. Yeah, that's if you're online. That's a whole new class once again. YouTube, TV and radio. It don't need to be Channel 4 for you to make it happen. You could go to like the smaller ones, Vox Africa or whatever it may be, whatever the smaller stations are. So you still can get the same amount across. As QB said to you before, be careful sometimes what you ask for, in the sense of, if you go to a channel that gives you 5 million new customers, can you handle it? Yeah? So you don't need to run to the big conglomerates in that sense to get this point across, because you may not be able to handle it. Yeah? Radio, TV, as you know, Facebook, all the social networking, Twitter, emails, shopping sites, and so on and so forth. That's a whole new different class, so I won't talk about that. But these are the quick areas that you can tap into for all of your pre-framing to manifest and your results to happen also. Okay? So, the next stage is indoctrination. Right. So the pre-framing is what happened to them beforehand. Then when they come to your shop, they're already pre-framed, so you bring them into the indoctrination stages. Now this sounds like, oh my gosh, how can they say it? But this is how it works. This is science. This is beyond marketing for a second. This is beyond branding for a second. This is science. Okay? So, your indoctrination materials are what they see after they're being pre-framed to think you are already the bomb. Now you indoctrinate them. If you've heard about all this before and you think it's irrelevant, hands up. If you haven't heard about none of this before and you think it's relevant to what you're doing, hands up, let me see. Excellent. Okay, the goal of indoctrination materials is to control the levels of trust and desire leading up to the sale. Write that down, please. You're writing it, right? Sometimes we've got to learn in the desert. Can we open any windows? If anyone? All the windows are open. I mean, it leads right into a corridor, so I don't think you're going to get anything better. Okay? We've got to quickly race on because I'm conscious about time. Oops, you missed it?
Yeah.
Okay. We've got to be quick, guys.
Being exclusive there.
I'm giving you some gems there. Five, 4, 3. Your type is so fast, I thought it was German. Guys got it? Almost? Yeah? Can share notes later? I'm very conscious about time, guys. Let's move on, yeah? Okay. So, your indoctrination system. What you would do when you're indoctrinating people now is do stuff like launch videos. Okay? So even ASOS does it. Go to, was it QB like ASOS Halls or something like that on YouTube? ASOS Social. Can you explain a bit about it, please?
So basically, when you go on their website, they've got a section on there that's just all about their videos, which in essence just launches or promos on the website. So it's giving back, but at the same time it's really free training.
Yeah, and indoctrination as well. Because you're so sold. It's like, please, anything you're doing, I'm going to buy it. Just a bit like Nike. Nike comes out with a new trainers, people don't know what it is yet, they just want to buy the latest Nike. They're being indoctrinated. This is why small companies can't go up against these companies, because they've controlled the mind from way beforehand. I'm showing you what they do in your company to step up to that level. Okay? Webinars. This is what QB does. By the way, guys, I think you should definitely jump onto QB's webinar coming up Saturday.
Saturday the 5th of July.
What QB teaches you, if I teach you from 0 to 5, QB teaches you from 5 to 15. So you really, to be honest with you, you need this. You need QB's part and this together, because when we normally built our companies together at one point, we actually looked at all of that together. So my one's been cut off in that direction, and QB's one's cut off in that direction. So get QB's information afterwards, please, and jump onto our webinar on Saturday. Yeah? So just grab email address or whatever it may be, and then zone in. Manifestos, PDFs, and so on and so forth. State who you are, what your brand is, what you're about, and so on and so forth. People buy into it straight away because they've already been pre-framed. Do videos enforcing the success of what you've been pre-framing. Do launch videos not to make money. The launch videos are not to make money, but to cement the celebrity status to prepare the sale via your affiliates, etc. Does that make sense? Have I confused people? That makes sense? Yeah? So even when you're almost ready to jump in, do not jump in yet because people snap out of the hypnotizing state that you're putting in. Make other people tell them to buy. Don't jump and say, now buy from me. No. They'll be like, hold on, what's been happening all this time? So you use affiliates to bring them in to you. This is what they do. When you go to McDonald's, you buy Coke. Coke owned by McDonald's? No. They're joint ventures. Think about what's going on. QB spoke earlier about Coca-Cola and so on and so forth and what they do. Now, Now, based on what QB taught, based on the marketing of Coca-Cola and how they do things, when you go to McDonald's, do you really think about Coca-Cola as a brand? Because McDonald's and Coca-Cola has really pre-framed you into buying that one meal. So what I'm telling you guys is this, and what I'm trying to show you guys is this is science. And it's happening to you if you like it or not, and you're sending out this science to people if you like it or not. I'm showing you how to do it and benefit and profit from this and have a successful life. So, question.
I was saying that I did say that McDonald's is a big fries and Coke business. The whole of McDonald's is all about buying fries and Coke.
Well, I'll tell you what McDonald's is really about. McDonald's is not about that. McDonald's is the second biggest real estate company in the world.
Yeah.
They're about real estate. Okay, how much time do I have? All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up in 4 minutes. And she's going to be upset with me because I owe her 2 minutes. Okay, so the stages, 3 stages to close. Anytime you're doing business with companies and organizations, make sure there's 3 stages that you close in. 1, here's what I got. You tell people what you got. This is what I got. This is what I do. This is what I've got. Okay? You'll be surprised how many people don't tell people what they've got. 2, this is what you'll do. This is what it will do for you. If you don't tell people what it does for them, they don't see it as relevant. And the 3rd one, what everyone seems to miss, and it scares people to death, here's what you've got to do next. People start skating on their heels at this point. They go, this is what I've got. They go, great, oh my gosh, you've got this nice product, great. And it can do this for you. They go, okay, that's nice. Then as soon as you get them to close, they go, it'd be nice if you, no. Tell them, buy this, and it's going to make you feel this way, it's going to do this for you, and this is the result. Buy it now, and you give them the musical chairs effect. If you don't buy it now, you'll lose out.
So technically you're giving a call to action.
It's a call to action. People are frightened of call for actions. And the call for action, I can do a whole talk on call for action alone. This is how big it is, okay? So I'm going to quickly move on, give them an irresistible offer that they can't refuse. Limit their fears and concerns. Give them a limited time to commit, or the offer will close. Urgency. If people don't feel like they need to buy today, they're not going to buy tomorrow. Because once they get paid, someone else is going to do what you should have done. Okay? Oh, go on then. Any questions before we wrap up? Or everyone's satisfied or not satisfied? Yep, coming now. Okay, so guys.
Question.
Yep.
On seminars in history.
Sorry?
Seminar origins.
Leading men. Okay, so I love you guys to come and join us. If you haven't got a band for it, we'll rush to go together. Yeah? So, guys, thank you very much. Any questions? Yes?